Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about exactly how to comp a deal and then how to find a cash buyer for it, and so you can connect it all. I'm going to break it all down for you right here. Tune in. Before we dive into this, let's talk about my Facebook group and how it's absolutely free to join, and I want you to check it out. It's called Painless Flipping, like my last name, P-A-Y-N-E. Check it out, Painless Flipping, and join. It's a free community. We have master classes and free resources to help you, whether you're experienced or not experienced. Whether you're new or not, want you to join. Check it out. So let's talk about this. Look, I get deals sent to me all the time, right? I see them on Facebook, I see them on my email. There's enough deals to go around. What you need to know how to do is comp the deal, see if it makes sense, and also if you can bring it to a buyer. If you can get a deal and you know it's a deal because you know how to analyze the property, analyze the area, and say, hey, this is discounted enough that I think I could sell it to someone for a profit. That's all you gotta do. So you gotta look for properties, comp them, and then find a cash buyer. And I show you exactly how to do it on this video. I actually did like a case study on it, like a break step by step on exactly this process you need to do. And I want to show it to you because I want you to succeed. So check it out. Leave me a comment if you have any questions or if you're confused about anything. Let's dive right in. First of all, this is the painless flipping timeline that I'm going to explain to you guys. You want to start out, you want to pick one market. David, he's in New York primarily. And I think, Sean, you're in Atlanta, right?
I'm in Atlanta.
Okay, and I'm in Orlando. I am in Utah. I'm in two. But first, you want to get started in one so you're not going all over the place and just scrambling, all right? So when you pick your market, you want to find buyers. But where do you find buyers? That's a big question that people have, right? What I like to do, there's a lot of different ways. You can use batch leads, you can pull lists, but the thing I like to do that's quick and, it gives you a warm handoff to these buyers is title companies, hard money lenders, and real estate agents. If you can develop those relationships with those people, ask them who's buying, they will hand you off to buyers, and you can say, hey, buyer, hey, John, my name's Nathan. I got referred to you by Christina at GT Title. I was wondering if, what you're looking for. Wondering if I could, network with you. The next step is you want to find out what they're buying, right? And then, you can go and focus your outbound marketing on batch leads. You can focus searching for deals in that specific area, okay? So let me give you an example. I have a virtual assistant named Zishan, and I say, hey, Zishan, we have buyers in Atlanta for you, hedge funds that buy this criteria and they buy this, and this is where they want, right? In this specific area, for example. He found out their criteria, and then it was time for him to search deals, okay? There's a couple ways to search deals. You can look at other wholesalers' deals. You can network with wholesalers. They always have deals that they need to move, especially these bigger companies that have multiple deals every month that, they're not able to sell all of them. You can check online platforms, and you can network with real estate agents. And because Batch has the new agent directory, you can network with agents. So you found your buyer, you found their criteria, now you're looking, and you don't necessarily need to go do outbound marketing immediately. You can do what's on market and, not do off market as immediately. So then once you find a deal, it's time to analyze that deal. So that's where we're going to start right now, guys. I have a deal that Zishan brought me. So he found it. If you guys can see my screen right here, this is in, I think it's Lafayette. Is that how you say it? Lafayette in Georgia? Sean?
Yeah.
I know you know about that area. So he found this deal, and he reached out before he had it under contract. He reached out to the hedge fund, and he got a pre-offer from them. He said, hey, I'm negotiating with this seller. What would you be willing to offer? So they offered $253 pre-inspection offer, and he got it for $240. Okay. So does that make sense? So he kind of got a pre-offer before even signing the paperwork. And now what I'm doing is we're going to go look for a buyer for this deal. I'm going to run the numbers really quick and make sure it makes sense. And we're going to look for a buyer using batch leads because he has a buyer, but we don't want to just leave it up to one hedge fund saying yes or no, or coming back and coming in lower. We want to be able to have more buyers. Okay. So this is good for everyone that's watching this because you guys can say, okay, I have a deal, whether I got it from another wholesaler, I got it from my own marketing, whatever. What do I do now? I don't have a buyer. Okay. I didn't do the beginning part. Nate said, well, let me show you how to do this. First thing that I do, David and Sean, is I got to make sure that it's actually a deal. I don't want to have Zishan say, hey, man, I got this deal. He had the hedge fund check, so I feel pretty confident. But I first want to check. So it's find the deal. It's obviously know it's in the criteria where you have buyers or it's a good area, and then it's analyze it. This is a hard money lender gave me this calculator, and I built on it over the years to make it, everything that I needed to do. So let's analyze this deal. If you look back, I know it's kind of hard to see. I can't show you guys on YouTube batch leads because it will like kick us out because of the information it shows. But I'm seeing that there's a lot of houses that have sold and that are for sale in this area around the 400 to 450 range. Okay. So if I wanted to, I could click on any of these properties right here and I can take a look at the picture and see the condition that the house is in to see if it was a flip or not. Okay. So if a house isn't in a flip, like if it looks like it's been flipped, I'm going to say, okay, that's a good ARV. Even if it hasn't sold yet, I'm going to say, okay, that's a good indicator. So let's go here. Let's just be, conservative. Let's say 415. Okay. Is the ARV. That's what the house will sell for if I fix it up. Now he negotiated the deal to 240. Okay. This house needs a lot of work. So he got it for 240. If we wholesale it to a cash buyer, they're going to get hard money. And like 99% of investors get hard money. So you have 12%, 2 points. That's what you got to pay the hard money lender for borrowing his money, about $2,000 a month. You bring 15% down. You hold this house for about 6 months because you got to fix it up. It might take 4 and it might take 2 months to sell it on the MLS. And then you have your closing costs, right? So this house, I think it's probably going to need, because I've ran the numbers, probably going to need about $60,000 of work. That's what the hedge fund said. They're like, about 60K. And then we are going to wholesale this deal to them for about what I think they said they would buy it about 253. So that would mean if we got it at 240, we'd make 13,000 on the wholesale fee. So that's a good deal, right? That's a 16% return if the house is worth 415. Now, if it's not worth 415, it's worth less, then it's not as good of a deal. And if it's worth more, then it's a great deal. So you're looking at this and you're like, that's a good deal, right? I would definitely do this. And that's how I determine if something is worth my time to work and find a buyer for, right? If it gets down to like 10%, like if I'm over here at, I get it 260 and it's at like 11. Now we're getting kind of iffy because buyers, they want to make sure they want to be at least above 10% return on their money, right? We get right here and we say, okay, hey, cool. We analyze the deal. Now it's time for me to look because it's worth my time. Now, what happens if we do this deal and we run the numbers and it's like we agree to 300,000? Then we would see, oh, dang, this is not a good deal. This is not worth my time to work. I need to go back and renegotiate with the seller or the wholesaler or the agent before I do some work, because there's really no point because there's such a big difference in the spread, right? So if you guys run your numbers and you see that there's that big of a difference, then again, go back and renegotiate. Don't waste your time. So now that we have analyzed the deal to make sure it's worth it, what I do is on batch leads, right? And you can do this on Zillow too if you don't have batch, but I'd recommend getting batch. You can go to properties in the area that are currently listed for sale that look like they've been flipped. And then you can go and call the real estate agent that is listing that, or you can skip trace the LLC. You can go to Open Corporates, find out who owns it, and then skip trace, find the information of the owner. And you can call them and say, hey, I got a property right around the corner. Are you looking to buy more in that area? Right? Simple as that. So we have these properties that are listed for sale around here. So I can just click on one and that one looks like it's been flipped. I wish we could get a little closer. Let me see if I can bring this thing a little closer. Okay, there you go. Boom, boom. Looks like it's got like a little casita in the back. Okay.
Nice property.
Yeah, it's cool. It's one of those colonial style. I like that style. So the house has been flipped, right? So what do I do now? I would go to the information on the MLS right here, and I would contact the real estate agent, or I would contact the buyer, right? I would look who bought it and then skip trace the LLC. And it says that the owner type is company owned. It's 2O Real Estate Consulting. That's the LLC. So again, I could do the legwork and find out who bought it and call them directly, or I can just go find the agent that listed it. And the agent's name is Apria M. Brown, and they work at Keller Williams. So let's go ahead. Let's do the whole process. So Apria Brown, Keller Williams, see if we can get their information. Okay, that's the phone number. So I'm going to call her and we're going to see if she answers or they answer. And we're going to see if they're looking for any more deals. Let's call. Let's see if Apria answers. And the thing, guys, is a lot of times they don't answer the first call. That's why I call multiple times.
That's right. That's right.
Hi, is this Apria? Hi, Apria. How you doing? My name's Nathan. How's it going today? Hey, calling about your property that you have listed on 150 Inglewood Drive. Is that still listed and available? Okay. Well, I wanted to ask you a question. I'm actually from Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm an investor, and I come across properties sometimes in the Atlanta area. I work in a couple different markets, and when a property doesn't work for me, I look to wholesale it. I was wondering if you've ever worked with wholesalers, and if this buyer that you're representing is looking for their next flip. Yeah, of course. Well, I guess the reason I'm calling you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Oh, I was just saying that the reason I'm calling you is because I see that you work in that area where I have a property under contract right now. And I was wondering if you'd be interested in working with me to bring it to some of your buyers, and I can pay you a commission if you help me, sell it. Okay. It definitely is just a numbers game. What do you usually negotiate or work out if with wholesalers when you bring a buyer to a property they have? Like, what's your fee? Okay. Okay. No, I get that. Yeah, if you were to list this thing on the market, I totally get a 3%. Usually what we pay is usually like if you were to show this to one of your buyers and you bring him to the deal and he wants to buy it, we usually pay like anywhere from like two to $5,000 depending on the amount of work that it takes. But would that be okay if we were able to do something like that if you were to bring a buyer to this deal that he wants to flip it? Okay. All right, Apria. Well, what's the best way to get you this information about this deal? Is it to text you, to email you? Okay. All right. Well, also, I'm just curious because I don't, I like to set the expectations. When do you think you'd be able to get back to me if I send it to you today on, whether your buyer wants it or not? Okay. Yeah. All right, April. Thank you. And by the way, just to let you know, this is a good deal. I already have a hedge fund that wants to buy it. So I think if your buyer is looking for more flips in the area, I think it would be a good one for him. Especially, I'm looking at the one he did. It looks really good. All right. All right, April. You have a good day, and we'll hopefully we can do a deal together. Yep. Bye. That's it. What do you guys think?
All right. We couldn't hear Apria, but we could hear
Oh,
you.
you couldn't hear her? Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
I was trying to give you the signal, but
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's tricky with the CRM on the computer probably.
Dang, that was a great call. She was like, "Yeah, that's fine. You can bring me a buyer." I wish you guys could have heard it because it was a good call. But
Yeah.
that's it, guys. And if I do this with enough properties around where I have, talk to enough agents or even just call the guy myself, we're gonna get a lot of good buyers and information on whether I have the price at a good price, if this house just sucks and I just didn't know it because I'm not familiar with Lafayette. But that's kind of like the digging you got to do. And I promise you guys, if you do enough of these every day, you're going to be able to sell deals because this is how it's done. You either email blast, which half the time people don't respond anymore because deals suck. But if you call in individually, say, "Hey, I need you to look at this. When can you get back to me?" And she said, "I can get back to you later today." So you want to get that commitment so you're not waiting like a week,
Indeed.
If you like this information, hit the like button and also share it with a friend so we can grow this channel.